呪われし竜よ。いでて邪悪な力を震え、ライドファントムブラスタードラゴン。
What's up YouTube, this is Jason Undisputed 22 back here again, this time with another video. And today, as you can tell by the intro, I am going to be showing to you my deck profile of my Keter Century Phantom Blaster Dragon deck profile. Yes, in the previous video in my previous video of the DBTO2 box opening, I did mention I was going to do a deck profile of my Keter Century deck profile with my favorite card, of course, Phantom Blaster Dragon. And so yeah, so let's get on with it. So as you can see over here, we have the new right line plus the two new support cards, Full-Bow, Blaster Javelin, Blaster Dark, Phantom Blaster Dragon, Black Shade Scarron, and Darkness Maiden Matcha, and all of them are in SP. Very nice, beautiful, and I really love the SP for this card. For these cards, because you can see, I don't know if you can see properly, but you can see the borders. They actually make the black borders quite obvious in the SP, so it looks really old, like in the ancient times, especially Kara's SP. Kara's SP is so beautiful, and Phantom Blaster Dragon SP as well. So yeah, so enough of that, let's get on to the deck profile. But before I move on with the deck profile, let me do a little history lesson of me and Phantom Blaster Dragon. So if you didn't know, Phantom Blaster Dragon did came out way back in 2011. It was one of my favorite Vanguard cards to get, and it came out in BTO4, which was 10 years ago, 2011. Yes, you heard that right. So this is the 10th year anniversary of Phantom Blaster Dragon, and they decided to give us in the D series now. So I am very happy and proud to say that as a big huge Phantom Blaster Dragon fan, it's good to see that he's back in the D series, and it's good to play a deck based on him. So yeah, so let's get on to the deck profile. So for our right line, as you can tell right now, we have Full-Bow, Blaster Javelin, Blaster Dark, and Phantom Blaster Dragon. These are all new cards from the DBTO2 set. So are we going through their skills? If you don't know what their skills are, so for Full-Bow, his skill is if you ride a Blaster Javelin, you can search your deck for a Blaster Dark and add it to your hand.
Psych! Got him! Got him!
No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. That is not the skill. So Full-Bow is basically your normal starter skill. If you ride a great one on top of him, if it's a second turn, you draw one. So that is our starter skill. Then for Blaster Javelin, which is one of the new cards, or should I say old cards, but got rebooted in the D series. Blaster Javelin skill is on Vanguard Circle, if you ride a Blaster Dark on top of him, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if that card is a unit, superior call it in rest. And the second skill is if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in his name on Vanguard Circle, if this guy is on Vanguard Circle, if a Vanguard with Blaster in the name, he gets power plus 2k, so it's 10k booster or 10k attacker or whatever you want to say. Then the next one, we have my boy Blaster Dark, of course, everyone's favorite unit. So Blaster Dark skill is when placed on Vanguard or Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1, retire one of your other rearguards and choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. And during this turn, this unit gets drive plus 1. Yes, you heard that right. He does get a drive plus 1 on Vanguard and on Rearguard Circle. So on Vanguard, he has twin drive. On Vanguard Circle, he also has twin drive, but he is not able to perform the drive check unless you drive check the new Keter Century, actually not new, but the Keter Century over trigger. If you do drive check that, then he will twin drive on Vanguard Circle, so that's the one, do take note of that. But other than that, he cannot drive check on Vanguard Circle, so please do not drive check with him on rearguard circle unless you check the over trigger for Keter Century. So next, and of course our main grade 3, we have Phantom Blaster Dragon, my boy, my favorite card of the entire card fight Vanguard game. Oops, sorry. So if you don't know what it does is, when placed on Vanguard circle, you can call a blaster unit from your soul. So it can be anything, it can be Blaster Javelin, Blaster Dark, or himself if you persona right. So very nice. That's a very good first skill already, a free rearguard. Then the second skill is Counter Blast 1 once per turn. Sadly, once per turn you can retire 3 of your rearguards, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards and retire them, and this unit gets power plus 10k and a crit. So very good pressure card, retiring 3 of your own rearguards to retire 2 of your opponent's rearguards and then gaining a crit. So your opponent either has to guard it, because I don't think he wants to take 2 damage straight away from the starting of the game, but you might never know. So this is our right line. So let's move on to the grade 1s, to the grade 1, grade 2s and grade 0. So we're going to start with the grade 0s first. Our trigger lineup, we do run 1 over trigger, 4 front triggers, 4 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, let me move them over here, 3 draw triggers, and of course 4 heal triggers. So why front triggers? Well, because the new front trigger from the latest set has in fact not just him, all of the new front triggers of every single nation does have this effect, where if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3, he gets 5k shield, so he's a 20k shield. So technically it's back to the V series again, where your heal trigger was 20k shield, but instead of your front heal trigger, now it's your front trigger. And most of the time your rearguards are hitting with quite low power, so with the front trigger you can get an even better power boost. So yep, that's why we run 4 front triggers. So it's good for me. I find front triggers to be better for Phantom Blaster Dragon. You can see some lists they play 8 critical, but I find that front trigger is the better choice for now. And for crits, obviously because it's a Phantom Blaster Dragon deck, and then 4 heals, and then 3 draws, and then 1 over trigger. So this is the over trigger I was talking about. If you drove check him, you can choose one of your units, gain 1 million power, and during this turn all your rearguards can perform drive check. So like I mentioned before, if you use Blaster Dark skill, rearguard skill, and retire one of your rearguard and choose your opponent's rearguard to retire it, he just gets 1 drive. So if you drove check this guy during your drive check, your Blaster Dark is gonna twin drive. So yes, this is our trigger lineup. Alright, then let's move on to the grade 1s. The grade 1s, we run actually not really quite a few, but it's the normal amount. So for the grade 1s, we run 2 Blaster Javelins, 4 Black Sage Charon, 4 Perfect Guards, and 4 of the new grade 1. So let me explain why this is my ratio. So Blaster Javelin, 10k booster, very good, and there's not really a real reason for you to run 4. I just find 3 is a good amount. 3, which means 2 in the main deck and 1 in your right deck. So yep, so I don't really find I need to play 4 Blaster Javelins, but if you want to play 4, go up to you, go ahead. So and then we have Black Sage Charon. If you don't know, this is a brand new card from the BTO2. If you don't know what it does, is on place on Vanguard on rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard with Blaster in the name, you can rest this card. Then reveal the top card of your deck. Superior, if it's a unit, superior call it. So yep. So basically he gets you a free unit, and one thing is, during the end phase of the turn, retire that unit. So yes, so he buffs the deck a lot. At the time when before they reviewed this guy, and they only reviewed Phantom Blaster Dragon, it was looking to be pretty bad, but thanks to Charon, it's much better. And we have 4 Perfect Guards. Obviously, why won't you run Perfect Guards? And then for the last 4, we run this new grade 1. This is the brand new Witch. So his skill is, if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in the name, he is considered as 2 tribute. So that means if you choose if you use Phantom Blaster Dragon skill to retire 3 rearguards, you can just retire him and one other rearguard. So total, you just retire him and just one other rearguard. These two rearguards will be counted as 3. So thanks to this guy, Phantom Blaster Dragon is so much better now. So yep, that is our grade 1s. Then for our grade 2s, we run quite a little amount of grade 2s here. So let me go here. So we have 2 Blaster Darks, 4 Black Darkness Maiden Maha, and 3 of the new grade 2s from the DBTO2. So Blaster Dark, we only run 2 for the main deck and 1 in the right deck, so total we only run 3. For me, I don't find a need to run 4 because you won't be using his rearguard skill anyway, because he's on place rearguard skill, you won't be using that to retire one of your own rearguards and to choose your own rearguard to get a drive. You rather save the counter blast for Phantom Blaster Dragon, because Phantom Blaster Dragon is more worth it if you think about it. Because if you think about it, if you were to pay 1 counter blast and just retire one of your own rearguards to retire one of your opponent's rearguard, it's not that worth it. So yeah, just 2 is fine. You won't really use that first skill anyway unless you really have nothing else to do. Then 4 of the new Black Darkness Maiden Maha or Macha, whatever you want to call it. So if you don't know what Macha does, Macha skill is on place. If you have a Blaster Vanguard, she gains 5k power, and Soul Blast 1, you can pay the cost, Soul Blast of 1, retire one of your other rearguards, then check the top 5 cards of your deck, Superior Call 1 grade 1 from among them to rearguard circle. So yes, on play she becomes a 15k booster, and he gets you a free grade 1 from the top 5 of your deck. Grade 1 or lower, sorry, from the top 5 of the deck. So even if you don't use the Soul Blast, she is still a 15k beater, which is really good. So definitely you need to run 4. Then we have 3 of the new grade 2. So her skill is on place on rearguard circle. You can pay the cost of Counter Blast 1, choose one of your other rearguards and rest it. Then review the top card of your deck. If it's a unit, Superior Call it. If it's a grade 3 or higher unit or order card, add that card to your hand. So basically she is a +1 no matter what. It's either you Superior Call the unit or you can +1 to your hand. So very good grade 3. And the best part is she doesn't retire the rearguard that you called, or she doesn't retire the rearguard that you called. So yes, very nice card. So that's all for our grade 2s. Now let's move on to the main stuff, which is the grade 3s. So for grade 3s, we run 4 Phantom Blaster Dragon, or 3 in the main deck, 2 of the Unflipper, and 2 of the Pot of Greed. What I call it, Pot of Greed. So yeah, so Phantom Blaster Dragon, I already explained the skill. So why run 4? Because he's your main Vanguard, of course, and if you think about it, if you Persona Ride him every single turn, is actually a plus, because you get a free rearguard and you get a draw 1 and your whole frontal plus 10k. And like I said, his second skill is once per turn. Sadly, all the past Phantom Blaster Dragons, Counter Blast 1, retire 3 rearguards, gain 10k and a crit, is always not once per turn, but sadly in the D series his skill became once per turn to make it fair, I guess, but yeah, sadly. Then this grade 3, I'm sure you know his skill. On a he cannot be chosen by opponent's effects, so basically resist, and if you attack hit, soul charge 1, counter charge 1. Then 2 of this guy is your Pot of Greed, but you won't really use his skill much because he's very costly. He's a cost of Counter Blast 2 and a Soul Blast, and you need to Superior Call a grade 3 in order to draw 2 cards. And if you have 3 or more rearguards with grade 3, he gets 5k power. So this is my grade 3 ratio. I find this is the best for me. This is the better grade 3 ratio for this deck. So you feel free to disagree with me. You can agree with me. It's up to you. But so far, this is the best for me. This is the best grade 3 ratio I would run. So yep, that is my deck profile of the Keter Century Phantom Blaster Dragon deck profile. I hope you enjoy my deck profile of this deck. For me, I have play tested this deck against other players, against Vanguard or whatever to play against, and I do find this deck really fun to play. It's really fun to play, and it has the potential of being meta. For meta wise, I find it's okay, it's fine. It's not as broken as Bastion or Dragon Empire or Dark States, but it does do well against these decks actually, because just imagine every single turn you are using Phantom Blaster Dragon skill, retiring 3 rearguards to gain 10k and a crit. Your opponent has to retire 2 rearguards every single turn, which is actually quite painful unless you're playing against a Brungate. Brungate can just spawn their shadow tokens for free anyway, and Stochia can just use that order card to call back two rearguards from the drop zone anyway, so they don't really feel the pain. But other decks like Dark States and the Dragon Empire, they do feel the pain playing against this deck. So for me, I love the playstyle of this deck. I find it really fun. I actually have no regrets forming this deck, and I have no regrets buying high rarity for this deck as well. So yeah, that is my deck profile for the Keter Century deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy my deck profile of my favorite card of Phantom Blaster Dragon. We go way back, like really way back. I will never ever abandon this guy. So yep, that's all for today guys. If you like what you see, please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more. And good news for you guys, I'll be doing a giveaway for my channel once I hit 100 subscribers. Once we hit 100 subscribers, then I will announce how we're gonna do a giveaway. I'll be giving away free sleeves from Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard, whatever I have in my possession now. And those Yu-Gi-Oh sleeves are so quite hard to find, or maybe even Vanguard sleeves. So please do stay tuned for that. Please subscribe to my channel if you do want giveaways. So yep, that is all for today guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. This is Jason Undisputed 22 signing off.